Bradbury's essay Towards a Poetics of Fiction addresses the challenges of analyzing novels and proposes a structural approach to their study. Novels, being long and intricate narratives, often pose difficulties for critics in determining the most effective method of analysis. He critiques existing methods and suggests that understanding a novel's structure offers a more comprehensive approach to literary criticism. For decades, literary criticism has largely been divided between two dominant approaches: the new criticism approach and the realist approach. New criticism, which gained popularity in the mid 20th century, treats novels similarly to poems, focus on language, symbols, and intricate patterns such as recurring imagery or metaphors. This approach regards the novel as a self contained work of art where every word and literary device contributes to deeper meanings. For instance, critics may analyze the color white in Moby Dick to extract themes of purity, emptiness, or the unknown. While this method excels at uncovering hidden literary devices and stylistic brilliance, it often neglects broader aspects such as plot, character development, and the novel's engagement with social realities. On the other hand, the realist approach prioritizes the lifelike quality of a novel, how well it mirrors real life. Pioneers of this method, such as Ian Watt in The Rise of the Novel, emphasize that novels thrive on individual experiences, social details, and authenticity. Realist critics examine how authors like Jane Austen focus on marriage and class dynamics, or how Charles Dickens portrays poverty and social injustice. While this method successfully connects literature to real world issues, it struggles to interpret experimental or symbolic novels such as Ulysses or Moby Dick, where themes and artistic design often overshadow realism. Bradbury argues that both approaches are incomplete. Focusing exclusively on language and symbols ignores the social and thematic depth of a novel, while prioritizing realism alone fails to acknowledge the artistic and imaginative aspects that shape a novel's identity. He proposes an alternative, a structural approach that examines how a novel organizes its characters, events, language, and themes to create meaning. One of the key reasons why a structural approach is necessary lies in the complexity of novels. Unlike poems or short stories, novels possess an epic scope covering vast timelines, multiple characters, and intricate settings. A work like War and Peace encapsulates wars, families, and philosophical discourses, demanding a structural framework to analyze its narrative construction. Structure, therefore, goes beyond plot. It includes the interweaving of character arcs, thematic progression, and stylistic choices that define a novel's form. Another aspect Bradbury highlights is the role of prose. Unlike poetry, which often adheres to formal constraints like rhyme and meter, prose functions within the realm of everyday language. This characteristic allows novels to blend artistry with realism. A novel may contain poetic metaphors but also describe mundane realities such as characters' morning routine. This balance enables novels to feel both artistic and relatable, reinforcing their unique position in literature. Novels construct their own enclosed worlds with distinctive internal logics. For instance, in Pride and Prejudice, the social world revolves around marriage, reputation, and class status, with characters navigating these constraints in ways that shape the novel's conflicts and resolutions. The structure of a novel determines how its world functions, which elements of reality are emphasized, which are omitted, and how the narrative flows within those chosen parameters. Bradbury suggests that when analyzing a novel structurally, critics should ask key questions that illuminate the author's artistic choices. One crucial inquiry is, why did the author choose to write a novel instead of a poem or a play? This question forces critics to consider the specific strengths of the novel form, such as its ability to depict inner consciousness, sustain long term character development, or view multiple narrative threads. Additionally, critics should ask why a novel focuses on certain characters, settings, or conflicts, and how the balance between realism and symbolism is maintained. A structural approach also requires examining how a novel persuades its readers. Novels are not neutral, they actively engage readers on emotional, moral, and intellectual levels. Some novels draw readers in by forging strong emotional connections, such as making them root for Elizabeth Bennet in Pride and Prejudice. Others provoke moral reflection by compelling readers to judge characters' actions, as seen in To Kill a Mockingbird. Still, others stimulate intellectual engagement by prompting readers to ponder profound ideas such as the political and philosophical questions raised in 1984. Another key structural consideration is the relationship between different parts of a novel. Critics should identify patterns in plot development, such as how one event triggers another, leading to cascading consequences. They should also analyze character relationships, conflicts, and growth, as well as thematic consistency. For example, in Animal Farm, the recurring theme that power corrupts is reinforced through structural repetition, mirroring the historical cycles of oppression. Bradbury's structural approach is significant because it allows critics to perceive novels as both art and reflections of life. By balancing language and reality, this method acknowledges that novels function through both symbolic meaning and real world representation. For instance, in The Great Gatsby, the green light serves as both a literal object and a powerful symbol of aspiration and unattainable dreams. A structural analysis respects the novel's artistic uniqueness, recognizing that while poetry and drama have strict formal constraints, novel possess flexibility in form and execution. Structural analysis centers the reader's experience, considering how narrative techniques like suspense, pacing, and revelation shape engagement. The cliffhangers in Harry Potter or the slow unraveling of mystery in Murder on the Orient Express exemplify structural choices that maintain reader interest. Applying Bradbury's method to specific works illustrates its effectiveness. Consider Pride and Prejudice. Its structure revolves around social interactions such as balls and visits, which serve as pivotal moments for character revelation and development. The novel persuades readers by making them emotionally invested in Elizabeth Bennet's journey while simultaneously critiquing rigid class distinctions. Austen's stylistic choices, particularly her use of dialogue and irony, balance realism with artistic craftsmanship. Similarly, Moby Dick exemplifies how structural analysis can deepen understanding. Melville's novel is a fusion of adventure, philosophical inquiry, and encyclopedic detail on whaling. Its structure, which intersperses narrative progression with extensive digressions, challenges conventional storytelling and immerses readers in a richly constructed world. The novel persuades readers to perceive the whale as both a tangible creature and a symbol of obsession, fate, and the unknown. Melville's linguistic density enhances these themes, making even the famous opening line, "Call me Ishmael," resonate with biblical and existential undertones. Bradbury also warns against common pitfalls in literary criticism. One major mistake is overemphasizing language to the exclusion of narrative. While analyzing literary symbols and motifs can yield valuable insights, fixating on isolated details without considering the overall story weakens the analysis. For example, focusing solely on dark versus light imagery in Macbeth without discussing Macbeth's ambition and downfall leads to an incomplete interpretation. Similarly, another common mistake is assuming that novels must always be realistic. Not all novels aim to mirror life precisely. Fantasy works like The Lord of the Rings and satirical works like Gulliver's Travels use exaggeration and imaginative elements to make broader societal points. Bradbury's argument reinforces the idea that novels are complex literary structures that combine language, plot, and social context in unique ways. Critics should analyze both how a novel is written, its stylistic and structural choices, and what it seeks to convey, its themes and messages. By asking how a novel engages readers emotionally, morally, and intellectually, scholars can develop richer interpretations. Structural analysis enables us to appreciate novels as complete works of art, capable of entertaining, provoking thought, and reflecting the intricacies of human experience.